All right, welcome back to part 2 of the Christmas tree edit. This time I've added some 4K graphics and I'm going to be doing some keyframing. So just a moment here while I ramble on like a sports announcer, not talking about much, and wait for it to load up on YouTube so that I can see the chat section. And as people chime in, I'm able to answer the questions. There we go. We're going to go with this one. Live. Come on now. Load it on up. Load it on up. Make sure it's muted. Turn that all the way down. Alrighty. So here we go. Let's share the screen. I'm going to do application. Where did Premiere Pro go? Here. Premiere Pro seems to be, there we go. Hide this to watching. Bear with me, guys. I promise I'm trying to hurry here, but I'm new to StreamYards. And Premiere Pro needs to just show up here in my applications. Come to the show. Love, support, and thumbs up. Thank you for showing up, Portal. I appreciate it. I've seen a couple of your edits or your videos, and I think, if I remember correctly, I met you through Claude's channel. For some reason, Chrome tabs my entire screen. Share. And what if we go Premiere Pro? See if that's working. Come on, load up on this one so I can see everything actively. That looks like it's working. All right, so we're in Premiere Pro. Feel free to ask questions if you got edits. So what I've done here, this is part 2. I did the other day the main cuts and edits of this video. I just went through and hacked a bunch of stuff up. What I did now is I've gone on to Production Crate and I have downloaded some motion graphics, and I'm going to incorporate those. So here, what you'll see first is a forest scene of a drone flying through the snowy mountains. Along with some sound effects. So I also, if I make this a little more obvious, let's just turn everything off except the audio. I also downloaded the sound effect of a windstorm to add a little more something to it. All right, so now you've heard the audio. And all I've really done is lined it up. And even then, I did a pretty crude job. So we're going to go back here. Let's start it over so you can take a look. And the sound adds a neat effect. All right, and then now what you're seeing here is a little bit of more intro. It's personal because this is actually footage that I filmed from the front of my car from an Osmo Action to kind of incorporate things. And you'll notice that I've slowly got the audio ramping up to where I'm going to transition between 2 clips, and then I have a 4K motion graphic of a, as you'll see here in a moment, Christmas tree rolling through, and I'm going to have that. I'm going to keyframe the two different clips as the Christmas tree rolls through. It's going to keyframe from one clip to the other. So here we go. Okay, so here's where I've started keyframing some stuff. And obviously the keyframes need to be fixed a little bit. So I've already done some of them and found them to work. So I'm going to tune these ones up, and then I'll show you the process of moving on to the next clip and keyframing that one also. Let's see here. We're going to select. So I'm going to left click, drag, highlight all, and I'm going to move these until they line up with the tree. Come on now. Since I'm streaming and I don't want to do all of this at once, but I need you to. Come on now. Okay, come on. So I'm having a bit of an issue. So we do input or intro, outro, press enter, and it'll render these. And it should play a little better. So it's going to render, unfortunately, all 268 frames. Because I'm live streaming, I can't speed this up. Whereas if I was doing a video of this, I could speed it up and save a little bit of time. Okay, here we go. So you can see kind of what I'm going for, but I want this split right here to follow the middle of this tree as it goes through, which is not currently doing. So I'm going to fix that somehow, some way. Let's find out what's going on here. Highlight the clip I want. We're going to zoom in on the keyframes that are here. Everything's on, so I'm not quite sure. I might have to just start them all over again, which isn't a big deal. So let's go back, and this little back button allows me to go frame by frame by frame by frame by frame by frame. But I don't want to go that far back. I want to see the middle of the tree. And let's do this. It's not going to like this, but yes, delete all those keyframes. Hit this stopwatch, and we're going to turn the keyframing back on. Actually, let's start completely fresh. Get rid of crop. Let's see here. Undo. Come on now. My computer's really pissed. I was hoping to show this a little faster and a little more real time, but it's not having it. Okay, well, this is a fail so far. Believe me, I'm trying. I thought I had this all figured out before I came on. So all I can think of is let's restart and hope I don't lose the couple people watching here. Yeah, save the changes. We'll restart it, start it back over again. Wow, it's like a mirror image. It just goes off into infinity there. I spent most of the morning on, I can show you this part. So I pay for this service in here. They, Production Crate, they offer you 4K motion graphics. So these are all, like, I wanted to add a little Christmas tree effect somehow, but I thought, well, I'll do this one, which is a Christmas tree rolling across the screen as a transition from the driving scene into where I start talking. But then when I was in here, I thought, well, what else do they have? So I typed in drone, motion graphics, because I don't want drone sound effects. And it just so happens they have, here's a 4K footage, or some 4K footage of a drone flying through snowy mountains. Well, here's another one. This one didn't quite match the terrain where I was in. I thought about maybe adding some waterfalls into here, which would be pretty cool. I can show you those. Let's see here, WATR waterfalls. So in theory, I could download some of these, which are 4K graphics also, and incorporate those to make it like this one. I could rotate 180 and make it look like there's a waterfall coming off the cliff. There's a whole bunch to choose from. There is a limited number you can download if you're, they're free. You don't even have to be a member. I think I pay $11 or $12 a month to get unlimited downloads. The amount of stuff they have on here is crazy. So you can go even, let's see here, where's vehicles? You could download tanks and put in tanks into your footage. You know, this one's stationary. Here's one that's driving through. So if your camera was stationary, filming some like downtown or something where there's no cars, you can make a tank drive down it. Or we could go back. Helicopters, there's a bunch of helicopters. There's even one where it's crashing. Here it is. And you can incorporate that as a transition or something into your footage. It's a lot of fun. So there's just so much you can get in here. They got transitions, ground explosions, missiles, meteors. It's incredible. So anyway, Premiere Pro started back up. So let's go back, tree permit, let's see what left off, and let's see if it'll load this time. Okay, well, it kept the crop. Let's see if we can get rid of the crop. Go ahead. This time I got rid of the crop. And then this one, let's get rid of this crop. Gone. Okay, so we're going to start completely fresh here. So click on effects, editing, effects. I'm going to type in crop. There it is. I'm going to push crop and drag it onto here. Okay, and then I'm going to move with in this case I'm going to use the right arrow. Come on. to move frame by frame until the Christmas tree starts to come in, and I want it to be halfway. There it is, right there. So stay on this clip here. I'm going to turn on keyframing on the right, or keyframe crop on the right-hand side. So there's a keyframe, and it's going to stay there, but I actually want it to go up a tiny bit because if you look right on the edge, there's a little bit of blue. Oh, here, let's turn this off so we can see. There we go. So I went too much. So what I've done here is I've turned off the layer behind it just to make things a little bit easier for right now. Let's hide it again. Oops, too far. Let's go back over to where it starts, right about here. And then we're going to do right-hand side, turn it down some. So I'm going to go right to the edge there. That keyframe's done. Now I'm going to go over here, move it forward. Now this part's going to take a bit, so bear with me here. Pink, move it up. A couple more keyframes. Move this up. There we go. Move it a few more keyframes. We can find, so I can do it in bulk right now and then fine tune it as I see discrepancies later, but this should get us at least a point. So you can see I'm moving this clip across. Hello, X Country. Thank you for tuning in. Please, any questions? I'm here to help and thought I would share this while I'm instead of just sitting here by myself. Okay, again, I'm striving for getting my edge somewhere in here, but I have quite a bit of buffer. Go up and change this keyframe. So you'll notice that every time, zoom in here a little bit, every time I move a frame or a few frames, it's adding a keyframe. So in this particular spot, that's where this edge is. So if I go back and click the right hand crop and move it up, see that edge moving over, and it's adding a keyframe. So if I wanted to, I could go right in between keyframes and check the quality of the crop, which appears to be fairly smooth. Okay, and we'll go add some more. Oops, too much. Add some more. This tree is fairly predictable, so this should be fairly easy. Okay, so we move that over. Let's go back and check. There's one there. See this little bit right in here? Not a problem. We'll just add it in. It adds another keyframe automatically. Same thing here. We'll just add one more keyframe right in the middle. Boom, done. So let's go over to here. Again, this is a fairly fluid movement, so it's fairly predictable. I'm using the up arrow just to increase the amount of crop. Dragging, this is going to move through my footage, but on this particular clip right here. There. Check in the middle a little bit here. Looks okay to me. There's going to be one behind it, so any minute discrepancies, they'll get covered up. Let's go ahead and move this up. Okay, so here it starts to leave the frame, but we want to know where. So we're going to go to here, there, and at that rate, we can go all the way out and make this one just gone. So I'm going to save it just because. Okie dokie. So let's work on the next one here. Now, this is the frame I want to show up as it goes across. So we're going to work backwards here. So we want to start to reveal. We're going to take this crop and drop it onto this segment here. Okay. And then we're going to do from the left this time. Oh, we got to turn on the stopwatch so that we can mark the keyframes each time. Oops. No, we don't want left. Sorry. We want right-hand side. Yes. Delete those. We're going to go from the right. Oh, no. Okay. My bad. We've got this backwards. I have this backwards. turn this one off. Okay, so keyframe on, and we want this one to go over this way because it's going to reveal the other direction. There we go. Let's move it back a frame. There we go. Okay. Where are my keyframes and why are they not showing up this time? Why does it have to do this after I proved everything? Okay, keyframe. There we go. Keyframes are on. Move it over some more. I'm going to go move it some more. And so you'll notice it's starting to transition from one clip to the other. And I notice a little discrepancy on that clip right here. So I'll click on this one. And we'll just change that. Boom, keyframe is now added. Go back to this clip. Okay. It's a little choppy, sorry, but it's moving. Okay, so we're going to go up. Oops. There. Couple of clips, or a couple of frames. Another keyframe. Let's go a whole bunch and see what happens. Here we go. Oops, other direction. Press the down arrow in this case. It doesn't really matter. You can see it's right on the edge, but I don't care because it's behind this shaft, if you will, of the tree. It's fine. Move it some more. Down arrow to move the crop. Move the crop some more. There we go. Oops, too much. We want it out there. There we go. All right. So that looks like it's pretty close. So again, I have my intro, my outro set. I'm gonna hit enter. Let's render this so that we can see it. This is where I wish I had a little thing I could fast forward through time, but it is what it is. Here we go. It's a little choppy. Okay. Choppy, choppy, choppy. So here, we want this one here, and we want to move it there. Okay. Let's see where else it was choppy. There's one. Oops, there's another one. So we're going to go back, add more keyframes. As many as we want. We could do one per frame if we wanted to. Okay. There. Let's go back a couple of frames just to make sure. Looks like it's following it all right, so let's follow it through. Oh, there's one. So keyframes down. There we go. Oh, that one's off. It's okay. We'll add some more. Another keyframe in there. Let's go back just a frame to make sure it doesn't jump. Yep, it does. Not a problem. Back another one just to be sure. Quality takes time, as they say. There we go. Let's go back a couple more just to be sure again. All right. There's another one. So here's one. And there's another one. It looks like it's about here. Yep. Very much so. Oops. There we go. That's fine. There's another one. There's one. No problem. Oops. One here. There's another one. At least we're not masking. That would be because each each point has to be moved each time. But crop seemed like a much better idea since it's solid all the way through. A lot faster. Oh, there's a big one. Zoom in some more. There we go. We can probably find some this way too by zooming in. We get in between the different keyframes. There's another one. There's another one. There's not much volume currently, because it's more unless it's my voice you're saying you can't hear X Country. I don't have much audio playing in the way of what I'm editing here. Let's go back a frame. There's a spot, so we're gonna fix that one. And if it is my voice, I can just speak up louder. Please let me know. Oops. That one we want to move. There we go. I have a lot, so I'm gonna save. I hate when things, or I dislike when things crash. There's a big gap in the frames. There it is. There, so we're gonna add more here. I noticed this one's off a little bit too. So there, we fixed that one. Let's go back to this one. Zoom in again on these keyframes, and there's another big gap. Yep. I got another big gap over here. Yep, not a problem. Just keep keyframing away until we get it. Oop, there's one. There we go. Okay, I got a large gap over here. It doesn't look too bad though. Oh, yes, that is bad. We want to move this one way over this way. There we go. Again, move it over there. We're gonna go keyframe again. Right now it's huge. To be honest, X Country. Hold on, you can zoom out. Let me save. Since I added this 4K clip this morning, which I did crop some of it out. So let's say we're at 9:20, so 9:30. It goes up to 17, so we're at about 6.5 minutes roughly. There's still some more cutting to be done. I had to add 3 songs, which I wasn't real thrilled about. But I needed something for the intro. I noticed in a lot of my stories, I need more to the story and not just start into the footage. Some of my videos I've done fairly well, but the last few I haven't been all that thrilled with. So we need to start on this one. Off. Oops. Click copy there. completely off because somewhere in here is where the Christmas tree comes in. And this one we still want is 0. Enter. Back to this one. Okay, those are clean. Let's find out where this tree starts. There's still, this one is starting to go. We don't want any of that. I'm gonna start cleaning things up. And still don't want any. Because what it's doing is it's trying to be proportional between the keyframes. So it's going to try and move between keyframes instead of just being, point A, point B at 1 second and 2 seconds. It's going to proportionally move from 1 second to 2 seconds. So if you notice, it's going a tiny bit as we go. We don't want that. So we're going to have to move it, but that's not a problem. Again, we're just fine tuning here. And there it goes some more. We might as well just move forward and just add a keyframe to 0. All right, let's move to this one. Not turned off, but that's too much. We want it to just go away until the edge of the tree or the center of the tree. There. Let's go back a frame. And we want to have some back. There we go. We want still a little bit more back. And trying to keep it in center with the tree. Okay. That's hard to tell, so I'm going to go with that for now. Oop, there's one. There. Let's zoom in some more. Yeah, there's some bigger gaps in here, but these look like they're going to be fairly trustworthy. Just moving frame by frame, tuning it all up. There we go. Again, you could use a mask, but a crop is a lot easier because I have a vertical line, or if I had a horizontal line, that would work too. But I'm working with this vertical line. Oh, I can see a little bit at the top of the star right there. So let's, there we go. There's again at the star. There we go. Being somewhat of a perfectionist. Now, I've done a lot of keyframing. I don't want to lose any of it, so save. Auto save is great, but don't count on it. Move it back. So it's still, as you can see, it's just the keyframes are piling up here, but that's okay. Okay. Oh, and there's a gap there in that one, so we'll click on this layer, add a keyframe onto that one. Okay. I want to go back here, zoom in. And this is done. Oh, doesn't matter that much. You do funny. Awesome. 1 second. How to edit. Feel free to join us. Cheers. Oh. God dang on. How to edit. Feel free to join us. Okay, here we go. this line here, not real fond of it. So we're going to move that one. Which layer? We're on this one. I'm going to add another keyframe. So we're going to change it this way. There we go. That's awesome. I like that. Oop, there's one. Let's fix that one. There we go. Simple enough. Ooh, there's a little on this one right here. So we're going to click back on this layer and go and move it there. That's a little better. See, that little bit to me makes a difference. You're spending that extra moment to go that extra mile will really show, and you don't want people to think you're cheesy or cheap or lazy. Sorry for talking down, but quality takes time. I used to say my edits were about an hour per minute. Well, now as I get better and better with Premiere, I don't know that that's true anymore because I'm getting more complex with the edits themselves. So it's really hard to tell if they're getting faster because I'm doing more complex stuff. Like this one, I mean, I'm going keyframe or frame by frame, adding stuff. Here, because you can see right here, there's a little sliver. I don't like that. There we go. Frame. Ooh, there's a big one. We don't want that. So, oops. Let's go back. There we go. Oh, there's another one. So I'm just going to move it. There we go. But it looked like it jumped while it was loading there. So let's move that back. Yep, sure enough. Done. Again, a lot of keyframes, so I'm going to save. Yep, this one right here, little sliver. There we go. And then we're going to go back to this one, add a little bit more. I noticed the lower one kind of carried over, but it's okay. I'm just going to fix it with a crop. Let's go back a keyframe and make sure we're good. Oh, see, nope. There we go. There we go. Okay. Again, it's tedious, but I'm hoping this works out. It should look pretty cool. And that drone footage, even though I didn't shoot it, still my edit. And it was really pretty, and I paid for it. So I did have 3 different drones that day, but it was snowing, and I didn't want to take my drones out in the snow. Ooh, so far so good. Oop, there's one. There it is. There we go. Almost done. Oh, there's a little sliver right there. Done. All right, so let's re-render that. We spent a ton of money on this computer. I think with the monitor was close to $4,000 because it's a 4K Ultra HD. No matter how much you spend, you end up doing more and more with your processes of, with After Effects and Premiere. You still end up going, oh, I need more. In this case, I need more RAM. I need a bigger hard drive. I have an external drive 5 terabyte, and I've already filled it up and had to purge some stuff right about the year mark of buying the Mavic 2 Pro, and now I have 3 drones total, so it's only going to keep climbing. So let's watch this.
That's Snow Mountain Wilderness over there.
All right, that doesn't look too bad. So let's zoom out, save. What if, just for giggles, what if we move this out and the audio start a hair before the video? Now, I would never recommend this for like Instagram or whatever, because the first frame is what shows up as your thumbnail. But YouTube, as long as there's some sort of action happening, people will stick around for that 1/10 of a second. Come on now. Okay, so if I zoom in right here, you can see I use the pen tool to put in some marks. Now what I've done is I've done opacity, meaning how much you can see through this. So you'll notice I'm at 100% opacity here, but right here it starts to fade and show in the next one. And I don't like how the pen is not quite in line with the other clip, because it's going to show black. We don't want that. So we're going to move it to inline at the start of the other clip, and then let's move the intro point to where the audio starts. There. Will it render quickly? Fairly quickly. Done. Business still must go on. Almost done. Let's see what this looks like. Nice fade in. Music comes in. Looks good to me. It's not my best work ever, but I'll take it. So if you want, like you noticed, I just grabbed this. So when I'm working on all the clips, I like to be able to see them large, zoom in, zoom out for precision-based work. But when I'm watching them, I don't always want to see those so much. So you can make them real small. Let's move the timeline marker back there. Now it's bigger. And then here's another example. Let me grab this from the corner, add it up. So if I mute this sound effect, just see what I mean by how it's kind of boring without some kind of sound. It's really pretty. It's really awesome, but there's just nothing there. So I think that adds a lot. I'd kind of like the music to come in a little bit faster though. So what we can do is move this up just a little bit, or bring it over. How about this one? Let's try that. Now we can make this layer smaller so I can see the layer underneath it a little bit better. And zoom or move it down. The time frame. Now you'll notice I used the pen tool. I put in some little pen marks here to make the audio ramp down. Excuse me, but I don't want it to take so long to ramp down. I kind of like the music coming in, so I'm going to ramp it, excuse me, a little bit faster. Let's give it a try.
That's Snow Mountain Wilderness over there.
So that audio is a little loud, but that's not hard to deal with. Bring this down, and then scroll back up to that audio layer. V for your selection tool, and I'm just going to drag it down ever so slightly.
That's Snow Mountain Wilderness over there. It's hard to see from right here, but that's Snow Mountain Wilderness over there. It's hard to see from right here, but half of it's burnt.
All right, that works out. So that makes a decent intro. I will take that. I'm gonna hit refresh on here. Okay. Scoot it all over. Let's just grab all of it and move it over more. Oops, gotta grab everything though. So I can't see it. So again, as I'm working in the timeline here, this way I can grab all of it. Scoot it all the way back over, and let's find out just how long this is, and then I'm gonna have to scoot them over to line up, because as you can see, I took out a section. So if we move the timeline marker to here, zoom in, this clip fits this space perfectly, but as you noticed, I did the transition with the Christmas tree, so I had to take some of this clip off, or move it above the other one and move it over, which left me this gap. Not a problem, but it is going to mess with the audio, although the plus side would be that my video went from, well, now I didn't do my math correctly. I'm at 8 minutes 18 seconds, so I did drop my overall time by just a little bit. So let's scoot them over and then fix the audio for a little bit. Oops. Come on now. I need the timeline marker where it was, so that when I zoom, it zooms right where the marker is. There we go. So that I can line these clips up just right.
Behind the camera is Whole Mountain. We're easily
all right, so we're gonna save this, and I'm gonna get some lunch, but we'll make a part 3 of this. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please contact me. You can get my email address. It's all over the internet. Contact me through commenting on this particular live stream later after I finish. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to match this audio to time with the clips changing, and see if I can get rid of some of these, because 8.5 minutes is kind of a long time for a video. Granted, it's sort of a how-to video. This video is about harvesting a Christmas tree. Let's see if I get it to play. I think it was about here I start talking about it.
October. If you go to the Mendocino National Forest website, you'll find under permits, Christmas tree permits. For $10, you can get yourself a permit to come out into the forest and get yourself a Christmas tree. I mailed it late October, mid-October, somewhere in there. It took about a month to get it back, but now we have a map that says where you can go, the regulations on the species, the size. They make it very clear, so there's no getting in trouble. On the way up here, we did see a park ranger following several people with trees in their back of it.
So that's kind of the gist of this video. again, feel free to chime in with some questions. I will be adding some more effects. I kind of liked, let's see here, we go down to holidays, Christmas. They have them for Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's, New Year's, Thanksgiving, and they got lots of stuff on here. You can make some pretty cool stuff. Somehow I wanted to incorporate some sort of something a little more than just like that tree rolling through, something a little more special and stand out. So like adding, you know, a Christmas tree that's made out of sparks, if you will. Maybe adding some snow, some snowflakes. And all I have to do if I want one of these is click on the down arrow, graphics. I have a whole folder just for basically this website. And I have one for snow, and hit save. And now it's downloading. So there's another transition you could use in your video. At some point, I want to make an entire music video. Find a song and make a music video out of just the motion graphics. If you wanted to, they even have, you know, you can make different particles. And I don't get paid by these guys at all, by the way. But if you wanted to add extras, you could add zombies. They got a whole bunch of zombies headshots. So you get a zombie that gets shot. The zombies I've worked with before were walking zombies. And these all are transparent behind them. So you could just add them into, if you have your camera on a tripod, you could just add them in. Just click and drag. Move the position around, change the scale, maybe change the color temperature and the color grading corrections so that it matches your footage a little better. These are super simple to work with. And again, I don't get paid to do any of this, but they do offer a lot that's free. Natural elements, liquid and ice. I did one, let's see if I can find ice. Yeah, so this one, I took a kid and had him stand in the driveway with my camera on a tripod, and I had him just swing his arm around. And then once he came around, he stopped with his hand out, flush like this, and I made this one shoot out of his hand and form ice crystals right on the ground. It was that simple. It was mostly a matter of scaling it and adding it in the right position. And yeah, that was the simple part. Made the timing start just right, and these are incredible. They're so much fun, and a lot of them, they actually have their own YouTube channel, but they also, and some of them have little videos. See, here's one on working with the different explosions, debris, cracks, ground effects. There's a video right here in their section. You want to add some lumber falling after an explosion, and boom, the dirt explodes. A couple of my videos, I have missiles coming in, and the missile rockets down. I download the sound effect, and then boom, the dirt goes up. It's pretty simple. They also tell you how to work with After Effects, so I can't recommend these guys highly enough. At this point, I say thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget, please give me a thumbs up if I gave you any sort of useful information. Subscribe if you want to follow on the next video, and thank you very much. Have a good day.